Hello all, I'm Sai and you're watching The Book Dragon. In today's video, I'm bringing to you my November wrap-up in which I'll be talking about all the fiction books that I read in the month of November. If you want to know about the non-fiction books which I read in November, please do check my non-fiction November wrap-up, which I'll link up in the iCard and down in the description. So without any further ado, let's get into the video. I totally managed to read 8 fiction books in November, of which 4 are physical books and the other 4 are audiobooks. First I'll talk about the physical books, then we'll jump into the audiobooks. So starting with the physical books, the first book which I finished is The White Tiger by Aravind Adiga. This was the buddy read for the month of November in my channel, and for December I've taken The Lost Symbol by Dan Brown, so you can participate in the buddy read and read it along with me if you are interested. Now, the premise of The White Tiger revolves around a boy named Balram who grows up in a small village in India called Lakshmangarh, and it is a very rural area. And after that, what happens is he grows to a certain age, and instead of studying, he has to work in a tea shop. While working in the tea shop, he learns how to drive a car, and then he goes to Delhi to work as a driver for a person named Ashok. And his life turns a bit differently from there, and he's also from a very rural area in which his family has not been that much literate, so there have been certain things which have been imbibed in his mind due to the way in which he was brought up. The writing in this book is just excellent, and the review for this book will be out pretty soon on the channel. Also, some of the books which I'm going to talk about in this video, I have already filmed reviews, and they will be available shortly in December for sure. So if you want to know those reviews, do consider subscribing, because I've just talked about all my thoughts on some of these books very well, because when it comes to fiction generally, most of my favorite books of 2020 have occurred in November coincidentally, and I was so happy. I rated this one 4 stars. The next book which I finished is City of Lost Souls by Cassandra Clare. Now this is the 5th book in the Mortal Instruments series. If you didn't know, I've been doing a Shadowhunters readathon by myself in the channel, and I've been rereading the Mortal Instruments series, and I'm reading the other series for the first time. So I've read the first 2 series completely now, that is the Mortal Instruments and the Infernal Devices. This being a reread, I didn't like City of Lost Souls that much when I read it for the first time. It was my least favorite of all the 6 books in the series, but now, after having read it for the second time, I can definitely say that this is one of my favorites in the series, because you can just see how much I've tapped it, because there are many moments taking place in the book. It is very slow paced compared to the other books in the series, yet there are multiple things which happen in here which are really crucial in order for the series to be set to that grand finale that it has in the 6th book. Also, this ties in very well with the Infernal Devices. I've talked about all of my feelings on this book in my review as well. I'll try to link all the reviews that are already available in the description. You can check them if you're interested. Since this was a reread, I enjoyed it a lot more than the first time, and I rated this one 5 stars. The next book which I finished is Clockwork Prince by Cassandra Clare. Now this is the 3rd and final book in the Infernal Devices trilogy. I should say this is definitely the best finale to a series that I've read this year. I've read both this series and the Mortal Instruments this year, but I can legitimately say that this is the best sequel that I've read, because the actual plot of the book ends like 100 pages before the ending of the series, and the last 100 pages are dedicated to the relationships for which the fans are like crazy. Okay, and I actually got into the whole series of the Shadowhunter Chronicles mainly because of the characters, and I just love the character work done by the author for the age which they represent, and also the diversity that the author has given so much ahead of time itself. Now we can see diverse books everywhere, but during the time these books were released, I don't think there were that many diverse books in terms of everything. I can say everything has diversity. It was really good. Also, if you have any second thoughts of whether you want to read the Infernal Devices or not, please just throw those thoughts into a bin and go forward and read the series. It's just so excellent. Also, if you have any doubts of whether to read the Mortal Instruments or the Infernal Devices first, if you're a person who likes fast-paced books, then I'll recommend you to read the Infernal Devices first. Also, I think that rather than that series, this is very well written, and the character work is really good in both. I liked it equally in both the series, but in this one the plot is even more stronger, and also the plot plays an even major role. So if you're a person who's bit more intrigued for the plot rather than anything else, then I'd highly recommend this one. Also, the love triangle in this one was just, it was like a chef's kiss for me. I just loved it throughout. I rated this one also 5 stars. I could have rated it more stars if possible, but the rating system just allows 5, so I gave it the 5 stars that it deserves. The next book which I finished is My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. This is one of my most anticipated releases for 2020, and I finally ended up reading it in November. Okay, That's why I said November was an awesome reading month for me, guys. Especially, I've picked up like 3 to 4 books which landed to be some of my best reads for 2020. This is one of them. Okay. Before getting anything about this, anything about this book, I want to tell you guys, everyone needs to read this book, but I will say that you can read this when you are mentally in a really good place. Okay. If you have some sort of mental health issues right now, that is, if you are suffering from stress or anxiety or depression, please don't pick this up, because it is a very, very strong and heavy book. No matter how much ready you are while reading it, there are certain instances in the book which will just take you off your feet, and they will make you feel a lot of emotions. Okay, there were multiple instances throughout this book during which I felt so angry, so sad. Okay, and I just enjoyed the whole experience of reading it. Also, it's the debut novel of the author. Okay, it's a literary fiction in which we see the life of a woman named Vanessa in 2 different timelines, while she was 15 and while she's 32 right now. While she was 15, she was in this relationship with one of her teachers and romantically involved. And there are like allegations which are coming out right now in the present, that is 2017 in the book, while Vanessa is 32. So she is just revisiting her past and thinking whether the things that she thought to be romantic were romantic or just abuse. And it's one of the best books that I've ever read. I can easily say that. Also, I've filmed a review for this one also. It will be coming out sometime soon. Okay, I'm not sure when I'm going to publish the reviews, because I have many other videos planned as well, and the reviews will be coming in between the other videos. So guys, if you're thinking about reading this book, I'll not even say think. Okay, if you're mentally in a good state, if you're mentally in a good place, just go forward and read it. This is one of those books which needs to be read, and also it requires a lot of time. Okay, you cannot just storm through it and finish it easily. I should say I read this in 3 sittings, but after each and every sitting I had to take at least 1 or 2 days of breaks, because it was so strong, so heavy, but very good. Okay, it's the debut novel of the author. I'm sure that I'm going to follow this author because it was just so excellent. So obviously I rated this one also 5 stars. Moving on to the audiobooks. The first audiobooks book which I finished in the month of November is The Invisible Life of Addie Larue by V.E. Schwab. This is also one of my most anticipated releases for 2020, and I should say none of my anticipated releases disappointed me this year, because this was way too awesome. Okay, it feels like I read this months and months ago, but it was just on the beginning of November. Okay, I was not able to get a physical copy of the book because the paperback was not available and the hardcover was way too expensive, but I got the audiobook on Storytel and I just went forward and listened to it the whole time. I also have a dedicated review for this one already up in the channel, so I'll link that also down in the description. You can check it out. Now this book deals with the story of a woman named Addie Larue, okay, Adeline Larue, and she lived in France in 1714. What happens is she is to be married, but she doesn't want to get married. So she prays to the god, and a god answers her after the dark. In order to escape from her marriage, she asks for immortality, but there's a catch for the god giving her immortality, which is that every time Addie leaves a place, she'll not be remembered at all. That's the only catch, and it was really very awesome, guys. You should read this book. Okay, I can easily say that this is one of the milestones of milestones in V. Schwab's career, because it was very excellent. Okay, I cannot say anything that much how to say as a negative point of this book. Some people say that the last chunk, that is like the last 1 or 2 pages of the book, were not that much likable for them, but I personally liked the entire book and it was really awesome. I rated this one also 5 stars. The next audiobook which I finished is The Rest of Us Just Live Here by Patrick Ness. Okay, this was also one. This was a book which I didn't expect a lot from, but I just enjoyed it throughout. Okay, it's a young adult contemporary, but with supernatural elements tied into the story, just like I think most of the other Patrick Ness books. I cannot say the actual plot of this because it doesn't have much of a plot going on. It has this life of a boy named Mike along with his friends and his siblings. That they live in the final year of high school, so they are going to get into college, most of them, except one of his siblings. Also, we have this other line of the plot which focuses on the indie kids that are in this small town in which the story takes place. The supernatural element of the story is actually tied in with them. Also, we have some gods and children of gods who play like very pivotal roles throughout the book. Okay, many people don't like the supernatural elements that are tied into Patrick Ness's books, but I think those are the things which make them different from normal contemporary. And also in this one, he represents OCD and how to say, the way in which we ourselves are caught in thought loops inside our head itself. It was represented very well in this book. I just liked it and loved it a lot. I rated this one also 5 stars. So if you're a person who's looking for a nice contemporary with supernatural elements as well as some mental health representation, then you should try this out. The next audiobook which I finished is Love Creekwood by Becky Albertalli. This is not a novel, okay, it's a novella. It is like a long short story which happens after the books in the Simonverse. The books in the Simonverse are Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda, The Upside of Unrequited, and Leah on the Offbeat, all 3 by Becky Albertalli herself. If you want like nice, comfy, fluffy contemporary reads, then you can read these. They also have a lot of LGBTQ representation throughout. Okay, I think that's one of the main reasons why these 3 books are very famous, because there are books which address certain issues of queer people in a strong way, but there are very few books which just address their issues and their lives which are as normal as any other people's in a very light way. I think Becky Albertalli as an author does that in the perfect sense, if you ask me. Also, this novella I didn't enjoy it that much because it was so short, first of all. Also, it is not like a story being narrated to you. It's just like email conversations that happen between the main characters of all the 3 books. It was fun to read. Okay, if you've read all the 3 books in the Simonverse, then you will enjoy this. Otherwise, you'll not go what the hell is going on in here, because it's just chats. Okay, but it was fun in that way. I expected a lot more. I expected kind of an overarching story within the 200 or some pages of which the book consisted, but it didn't have an overarching story. As I said before, it was just a short novella of conversations. It was fun to read, but it was not excellent, so I rated this one 4 stars. The last book which I finished in November is Homespun Mercies by DJ Hill. Now, this is not a novel, it's a poetry book. Okay, it is very short. I listened to it on audio as well. In this book, the author actually, she tries to express human emotions and the things that we do in our very mundane lives every day with a comic spin to it. Also, it is very strong, if you ask me. Okay, the language is not strong, but the messages that the author is trying to say with the beautiful words that she uses, they are so strong. They make a lot of sense. Okay, I can't believe that this book doesn't have that many ratings in Goodreads, because I think not many people have read it or listened to it. If you have Storytel, please do go and try it out, because I liked it a lot and I rated this one also 4 stars. Okay, so those were all the 8 fiction books which I read in November, and if you want to know about my non-fiction books, don't forget to check out my non-fiction November wrap-up, which I posted the day before. And that's it for today. If you did enjoy watching this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also share it to your friends. If you want to get more content from me, do subscribe to the channel, because I publish new videos every Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.